Five Nights at Freddy's is turning a whopping 11 this year, which is older than I was back when I first became a fan in 2015. Now this was back when the infamous 4th installment was in the making. I remember seeing the pictures of the main floor with the text "Was it me?" and being completely blown away. I spent my spare time playing the free demos of the previous 3 games in the computer class to the point where the teacher had to get up and make an announcement because kids were more worried about Freddy fastballs rather than math. I would talk with my friends about it and watch YouTube videos on it. I was pretty much just in love. The atmosphere of these games were perfect. There's no way that they could get any better, right? Absolute cinema! Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is my personal favorite game in the whole series by a long shot. The nightmares just look metal as fuck, the clock in the background, the lack of safety knowing that you can't lock those doors. Your survival relies solely on whether or not you can pick out the low, coarse breathing of the animatronics over the ambience of the game. One small mistake and you're done. This game was dark, this game was evil. Most of the people who are fans to this day can't play it because of the stress it just puts on you. God damn it! The gameplay is a huge departure from the previous titles. Where the earlier games relied on the safety of the monitors and sturdy door management, FNAF 4 pretty much just throws that all out the window. It 100% relies on the distinct audio cues that you might miss if you just breathe a little too hard. Not having any cameras in this game forces the player to rely solely on the sound of the slight breathing to anticipate their death. This genius yet brutal design choice creates an unparalleled sense of vulnerability and dread. Not knowing whether you heard what you thought you heard and panicking to just turn on the light only to get picked up and ripped apart by a gruesome and vile depiction of what should have been something safe and cute is just downright evil. The atmosphere itself, which I touched on earlier, is profoundly unsettling. The large pitch black room only illuminated by your small flashlight, the distant distorted sounds of the phone call you heard on night 1 of the first game, and the wary and melancholy sounding grandfather clock all combine to create an overwhelming sense of what can only be described as pure paranoia. Now, the nightmare animatronics themselves are designed to be how the child you're playing as sees them, absolute monsters, and they're quiet, really quiet. The constant uncertainty is absolutely vital for the horror. Some people think that the nightmare animatronics are a bit too much, but in my opinion, I think that they're really badass looking. No, they aren't really uncanny, like with their Chica per se, but to say that they're poorly designed is just cope. Like, obviously, they're not gonna really look uncanny, they're gonna look more monstrous, because you're playing as a child. FNAF 4's perfection isn't just in its gameplay, it's in its story. This was the first time we really got to learn about the Afton family. The minigame slowly revealed the tragic backstory of the crying child, the bullying he endures by his fucked up older brother and his friends, and ultimately the devastating bite of 83. I bet you $20 that you thought I was going to put the Markiplier clip in there. Well, you're wrong. This narrative adds an immense layer of sorrow. The way the unsettling gameplay mechanics intertwine with this emotional narrative elevates FNAF 4 beyond just a horror game, highlighting its remarkable depth. For the gameplay, there are 4 main areas to watch: the left door, the right door, the closet, and the bed. For the doors, if the breathing is heard, hold the door shut until the animatronic's footsteps fade away. If it's silent, flash the flashlight down the hall to scare them off. Do not flash the flashlight if you hear breathing, or you will fucking die. If you particularly ignore the right door for a little too long, Chica's cupcake will come flying at you and will eat your face off. Now for the bed, turn around every once in a while and shine the light on the bed to get rid of what we call frettles. Too many frettles may result in Nightmare Freddy appearing, which can lead to death. Avoid staring at the bed for too long, because another animatronic might sneak into your room, and once you turn around, you're dead. For the closet, it's only necessary to check it if Nightmare Foxy has made his way into your room. Now, you need to repel him by switching back and forth between the hallways. You can hear his footsteps because they are louder and faster than the rest. If he does happen to make his way into your room, then you'll need to check the closet regularly. You'll need to shine the flashlight on him and he'll jump scare you for the first time, but this won't kill you. You need to hold the door shut until he reverts back into a plushie or just a lesser stage. His plushie form is the safest stage. Honestly, the best way to deal with Foxy in the closet is to just make sure he doesn't get in there in the first place. FNAF 4 kind of goes back to FNAF 1 in a way, where Bonnie's on the left, Chica's on the right, Foxy needs your attention, and Freddy is the outlier. It's pretty much this over and over again until night 5, but we aren't there yet. In between each night, you get a minigame called Fun with Plushtrap. The goal here is to stop Plushtrap on a marked X in the floor in the dark hallway. To succeed, you'll need to heavily rely on your hearing. Plushtrap makes distinct footsteps as he moves closer. When you hear those footsteps, you need to flash quickly to try to stop him in his tracks. He may hide in one of the nearby doorways or retreat back to his starting position if you shine the light too soon. The challenge solely relies on your timing. If you flash perfectly so Plushtrap is directly on the X, then you win. The reward granted to you is you get a 2-hour head start, but if you die, then you have to go through all 6 hours. Now, let's say that you don't catch him at all. You shine your light the entire time, and he just sits still. You don't win, but you don't die. However, if you attempt the game and do fail, he will kill you. Plushtrap looks like if Springtrap was a crack addict and a midget. He's extremely small, with needle teeth, and he's based off of the Spring Bonnie design. Now, like I said, he's just a minigame, so you don't really see him that much, but he definitely adds a lot to the game. Now, you kind of just do the same thing for about 4 nights in a row, but once it hits the 5th night, Nightmare Fredbear is a twisted version of Fredbear, the one before Freddy. This game takes place in the Fredbear Family Diner era, so he is the main villain. Nightmare Fredbear comes around without warning. In the game, you load into Night 5 and immediately face him. He is the only animatronic this night. His behavior is just unpredictable. He can come from any direction. He can come from the left hall, the right hall, the closet, or the bed. To survive, you must listen for the audio cues. The heavy footsteps or eerie laughter determine his location. Shining the flashlight down the halls or on the bed reveals his glowing eyes, forcing him back if timed correctly. But lingering too long or checking the wrong spot invites a jump scare. In his closet, his presence requires a quick door closing to prevent an attack. Nightmare Fredbear's mechanics punish your hesitation, making every moment a heart-pounding test of focus and nerve, cementing his role as the ultimate challenge in the game. Now on night 6, you get the normal animatronics between 12 and 4 AM. Then, after that, between 4 and 6 AM, you get Nightmare Fredbear. Now, after this, it's kind of just the same thing, except for Fredbear is replaced by an all-black version of himself named Nightmare. Nightmare works the exact same way, except for his jump scare is just this. The community has theorized that he may represent death itself. Speaking of death, it's time to get into the story. This story was the first time we got a good look at the Afton family. In between nights, we play as a little boy who is referred to as the crying child and 1,000 other names. But for the sake of this video, I'm just calling him Chris because that was what he was called whenever I joined the fandom. Chris is a young boy who is terrified of the pizzeria, but is forced to go there anyway. He's looked after, if you can even call it that, by his older brother, Michael. Michael and Chris are William Afton's children, so it seems that they have to come to work with him a lot. Michael torments Chris every day by scaring him, leaving him places, and locking him away in multiple rooms. Chris isn't alone through this, though. He has his friends. Chris is obviously a very lonely child with nowhere to go, as he considers the plush versions of the animatronics as his friends. He has a particular favorite, however, and this would be Fredbear. The Fredbear plush is a bit odd, though, and it talks to him. It encourages him to keep his chin up through his hardships, as tomorrow is another day. On the 5th night of the minigames, it cuts to Chris being bullied by Michael and his friends as per usual. However, this time they pull a prank where they shove Chris into the Fredbear's mouth, but the jaw snaps shut and crushes its head. Michael has killed his brother, and all goes quiet. The next night, Chris is in the hospital, and Michael is apologizing to him. The Fredbear plush still talks to him and tells him, "I will put you back together." Now, we don't know for sure what a lot of the deal with this game is, because a lot of it got retconned, but some people have theorized that the plush may be William talking to his son. However, I don't really believe that. I think a big reason I like this game is because I partially relate to Michael. Being an older brother and having to deal with your younger one isn't fun, and I did a lot of things that Michael did. I regret it today, but this game really shows how it could have gone if I didn't stop. The thought of accidentally killing my brother is horrifying. But anyways, back to the stories and theories. I'm not here to talk about all the possible theories. I'm just here to talk about what is and what isn't. And what is that this game is amazing and changed the franchise forever. It may be confusing, but the atmosphere on this game is absolutely unmatched. If you play this game, you will get the living shit scared out of you. It was a way for Scott to change up the game, but not change it up too much. Sister Location kind of took the whole gameplay thing and completely changed it. FNAF 4 changed it, but we still were familiar with it. Bonnie on the left, Chica on the right. It was perfect. It was just enough familiarity as it was changed. And I don't think that Scott can ever recreate that again. Steel Wool definitely can't. So while this game may get overlooked a lot, and you cannot say that this game did not change Five Nights at Freddy's forever. Finally, at the end of the video, I want to tell Five Nights at Freddy's happy 11th anniversary. It's changed my life a lot, and I'm sure it's changed yours too. If you want more videos like this, just let me know, and I'll try to make some more. This was the first time I've really done a video like this though, so let me know if you like it. Alright, I'll see you next time.